Danny here. This is my friend Alecia. Alecia is the master of all things candles and incense and everything. P.S. I will link all of her social media down below.
You're making this a really...
This is legit.
This
is legit. Okay. So, I have a tendency to ask Alecia all the time, hey, what happens if we do this?
We're not scared.
No. So, we've decided that we're gonna make spell candles because my thought was, hey, what can I use around the house to make my own if I'm at a time crunch and I think, oh shit, I need a green candle.
What am I gonna do?
So I asked Alecia because Alecia knows all the things candles, and I would burn down my house, which I almost did.
That true story.
I almost did.
Testing.
It happens.
Test everything.
So, Alecia.
Yes.
Bare minimum, I need a green candle.
Okay.
What do I need to do?
So the easiest thing to do would be go in your kid's room and grab their crayons. It's not the most like smiled upon theory, but it works when you are in a pinch and you just really need this.
Listen, I'm not trying to be professional. I'm trying to burn something down again.
Yes, no. So this will do exactly what you want. It's going to create a fast candle that you're going to be able to use like within, as soon as it dries, really and truly, as it hardens.
Okay. So wax, we got it down. You can, if you got
all the greens.
All the greens, if you got crayons. Okay. So my next question, what about a wick?
So, we're going to go with, in theory, it would be the best thing is to go ahead and ask your friend's candle maker to give you some reserve wicks just for this project.
That you're going to steal a little more from this lovely wheel before she leaves.
I will leave her some. So, I've got right here a cotton core wick. It's called an HTP 105, which is really just it's used for your standard candle making, but it will work for what we needed to do for here today.
Okay, so if you go to Hobby Lobby.
Yes.
Okay, so Alecia knows all the things about like the legit way to use a wick.
Yeah.
But I don't. So if I go to Hobby Lobby and I'm just like, I just need a wick.
Just get you a cotton core wick. Get you some cotton core wicks on a roll like this, though. You don't want to get the ones that already have the metal tabs.
Why?
Well, if you do that, then you're making a dip candle. Well, you can still do it, but you'll be limited to the size.
Okay.
Yes, you can do it. No big deal if that's what you end up doing. Now, we also did a little bit of research.
And I got a question. Okay, go ahead. So let's just say you have one of those, right?
Yeah.
Can you maybe like make it upside down and then cut that off?
No, you can't. Or you could put that at the bottom base and you could cut that at the bottom too.
Okay.
So either way, you can use it if that's what you've got and you don't have it on a spool.
Okay.
Now, we did some research and we have not tried this method, but in theory, if you have yarn that you can actually... Cotton yarn.
Not synthetic, probably.
Yeah, no, you want it to be cotton. It has to be cotton. You don't want it to burn out.
Right.
So you can go ahead and dip that in wax and create your own wick. We're doing the dip candles, so, it's already going to do that.
YouTube that, Pinterest that.
Yes.
You didn't hear it from us.
So we're just telling you what we heard.
Yeah.
And you also, to do this, so I'm going to clip off a little piece right now. That we're going to use. But also with this, when you're gathering your little stuff, you need to also have something to weight your wick.
And these are just washers.
That we found.
You can probably use like the nuts and bolt, like a nut.
Anything that's just going to allow you to loop it through. And we're going to put a couple on here because we want to make sure, that it's actually going to sink in that wax. Because remember, the wax is going to be thick when we melt it down. And
So, I guess we'll get into that when we start melting shit. Because I was going to say, like, is there a way to thin the wax out?
No.
So wax is just wax. You don't put anything in it.
Whatever you're...
See, for me, I'd have been like, hey, we could put some water water
Yeah,
in there.
no.
So, yeah, don't do that.
Don't do that.
This is why I don't do this. You have to understand, I have Alecia, so I ask her everything. Because she knows and I do not know.
It's all, and this is going to be so simple. It's going to sound complicated, but this is going to be so simple for us. Really simple. Okay? We're gonna be, she's gonna be
I don't
fine.
need anything complicated.
And we won't burn your house down.
Please. So, okay. So we got crayons. Now you can also use bits of candles that you have left over.
If you guys have like leftover candles that are at the very bottom, maybe didn't burn right or on the sides or whatever, scrape that off and you can throw that in whatever you're gonna melt them. Now we're gonna use a mason jar.
Yes.
Okay, so in a
pot, kind of like a double boiler, like homemade.
Yes, we're gonna do a pot that you're not worried about messing up. I use the same one, so like look. Because the wax will, you're going to drip and all those different things. So a pat you don't care about and a simple mason jar. And we're going to put some water in there. That's what we're
And then we'll come right here and I'm going to put this over so where you can see what we're actually doing. Mm-hmm. But we just kind of want to tell you kind of what you need to get. Another thing you might want to get, I use, because when I make stuff out of beeswax, like I'll make my lip balms or I'll make like, ointments and stuff, I use a popsicle stick.
You can. And anything wooden or a metal skewer or wooden skewer.
Don't use plastic.
Yeah, don't use plastic. You don't want to melt that. But I just have some ones that we put like shish kebabs on.
Right. Now, okay, I know that for me, when I'm doing stuff like this, it's really not good to use metal because, especially for me, because I'm using essential oils.
Yeah.
And I'm using that can get, anything in the metal can kind of get in. This is a spell candle, you guys. This is like, we really don't care.
Yeah.
But it's best to use something that you can throw away because you're not going to get all that wax off.
No, and I mean, honestly, like she said, and these are so cheap, so it doesn't matter. You just toss them. You're not trying to... keep that.
No. I mean, if you want to, you can wash it.
Yeah. But these are something most people do have, like somewhere in their barbecue supplies, But if you don't, like she said, a popsicle stick works.
Popsicle sticks. Yeah.
Good.
That's my life. Okay. So yeah. First things first, we now have to make sure you take the wrappers
Yeah, you
off.
don't want the wrappers.
So we're going to take wrappers off of these and we'll be back. So that only took 30 minutes.
Yeah.
No. So we got a bunch of stuff. We peeled a bunch of stuff. Like, I can't articulate words
you
right
can.
now.
You got this.
Okay.
Crayons.
So we took our crayons and we took out all the wrappers. And so we filled it about like that.
Yeah. So we're thinking that it's going to fill up about 3/4 of a way.
Yeah. Kind of get us a good, because this is a simple spell candle, so I was telling Alecia, I'm like, I don't really want it to burn all that long.
No, it's just a few hours.
Right, and a normal spell candle is about the size of a crayon. So I was like, well, this will be great, but we don't have to fill it all the way. We can get like one that's maybe, 30 minutes. Or
Yeah.
We just want to get the basics right now. Of course, you can go
longer.
Yeah.
And like, even if you did, like, I brought a pour pitcher with me to show, but if we would have tried to do this, you would have had to fill it up a lot more because it's the width of it. So really, for what you're trying to do and make something smaller and longer, the mason jar or something this size is really more ideal,
Right, because we're gonna be dipping. This is like a dip candle, and we don't want to get crazy. Now, if you have extra candles, I'm sure you can put the color in. Create the color, because we all love colored spell candles, but like, I am not too proud to take a Sharpie
and just
color on the outside of a candle. Like, let's be real. But with this, I think it would be fun. And then if you needed more, then so random question.
Yes.
Is there any other thing around the house aside from like candle pieces, crayons? Is there anything else?
Crisco.
Are you serious?
You couldn't do a dip candle, but you could make a container candle. You could actually put a wick inside of Crisco and light it on fire. But
that sounds dangerous.
I didn't say that it wasn't sketchy. I just said you can technically do that.
Okay, I'm down.
Okay. So if you got in a hurricane, because we get hurricanes.
Yeah.
Not to be confused with the hurricanes going on over here. But if you had to. But that's not really a spell.
Right. I mean, we're trying to do some.
We don't want our spells smelling like chicken grease.
I mean, maybe you do.
If you like that, no offense.
Maybe you're trying to do something with a business of food.
Maybe
Maybe that'd be a great idea.
But we're not trying to do that.
No.
We like girly
We're going simple.
crayons.
And then once we're done with this, I'm going to have more questions because I always got questions. So we're going to always. Like, it's a little bit annoying. But it's okay. It's okay. We're going to work through it. So I'm going to try to hook us up here so where we can see what's going on. And then I will berate you with more questions as we go.
Got it.
All right. Okay. So this is very makeshift. I'm trying not to drop my phone into boiling hot water. So we're just going to wing it. And I'm sorry if we have poor production quality. I am doing this my best. Okay. So water. Pot.
In the pot.
Okay. So we're going to turn this on. Yes, I am standing on something. I'm really short. And I got to see if my phone fogs up because it's about to get hot. So, okay. Are we going to put, okay, for me, I usually put it in and allow it to heat as it goes.
Yeah, so we're going to go ahead and just drop it in that cooled water that we already had. And we're going to let it go from there.
Now, I would definitely recommend, because I know that I do this too, do not boil the water and then put it in there because you could crack your glass.
Yeah. So it needs to get heated as it goes,
With it.
Yes.
Yeah. Cool. So now we're going to basically watch crayons melt.
Let's do this.
This is awesome. Alright, you guys, new angle. This is like all the new angles. We're getting super fancy here. Okay, help me down. I'm too short for everything. Okay.
Thank you, Jacob, who we
Thanks,
also want to
Jacob.
say did our cute hair today.
Yes, he did.
Oh, you can't
Very
speak.
welcome. It was my pleasure.
This is the perks of having a husband who's a hairdresser. A stylist, if you will.
A stylist.
A stylist, a colorist, everything. Okay, so we have melted crayons, y'all. We have melted, and it
We've done
smells
this.
good. Cause like this is the pan, right?
Yeah.
This is the mother of all pans.
Yes, this is the pan that all the magic happens when I create my can. Because it's very, very DIY. I don't have a fancy melter, so.
But she makes the best candles. Can I just say that?
Thank
I mean, it could be because you're my friend, but it could also be because you're fucking amazing.
But let it be told, she says I make steak candles all the time. Whatever.
They stank ass candle. Okay, so we have drippy, beautiful green wax. What's next, Alicia?
Okay.
So I got it on low.
Okay, so at this point, we're going to go ahead and turn our
turn it off?
We're going to turn it off at this point. We've reached
Oh my god.
a melting point.
Okay.
Right here.
Okay. But this can't stay for long, right?
I mean, it's going to take a little while. Now, we have it still sitting in the
hot water.
In the hot
Okay.
water. So,
We have cold water
Yes,
here.
and we have our cold water. Because to do this method, you're going to need to go from hot to cold, and keep doing that dip.
Okay.
Because this is what's going to help us actually form the candle.
Okay. Now some people do a double dip, right?
Whereas like
Or like this. Where, fuck.
oh yeah.
Well,
So
first you don't burn the wick on the stove.
but what happens is if you wanted, so when you're wanting them to dry, what they'll do is, because it weights it on both sides, is they'll actually do a double. But because we're working in such a small container, we're gonna do a single one, and we only want one candle today.
Yeah,
we just need to do one.
I mean, we're just trying this out.
Yeah,
This is just a theory.
That's right. So let's go ahead and do you want to try it out?
Oh my god, I'm gonna dip
Okay,
it.
so go ahead.
So I just dip
it
in here.
and let it go all the way. So good, it's sinking. So it worked. Pull it out slowly. Let it kind of dry a little bit. And at first, we're gonna just kind of do the wax a little bit, and then we're gonna incorporate the.
Now, can I dip it lower, or do I just keep it where it
so you
sits?
so that's where it's kind of hitting at. I mean, you could go up further, but eventually, as we
won't
won't be able.
bend.
Yeah, it won't
Right.
bend.
Okay.
So this is up to you how tall of a candle you want, because it's the taller the vessel that you melt it in,
Right.
the more longer it can become. So we're doing
Right.
something very tiny.
We're doing something very tiny because I'm like, sometimes you just want a spell candle that will burn out while you're sitting there.
Yeah.
And even the tall spell candles, they'll last like an hour sometimes, depending upon how good they are. But I figure if we want something small where like I can be doing the working, I can turn it, put the candle on, sit there, do my stuff, maybe pull some cards, maybe, meditate for a little while. It'll burn itself out and I don't have to worry about snuffing or blowing.
It's going to go out. Now, another cool thing is if we would have done a double one on there, we could have also, while they were still soft, we could have twisted it and made it a twisted.
Oh, shit.
So you can get really creative with this.
Nice.
Because as long as that wax is soft still, it's easy to manipulate. So yeah, so she's just going to keep doing it. And this is going to be a process, guys, because you've got to build that up to where it's going to start making your tapered candle.
So when do we start putting it into?
I would say keep doing this for a few more times, and then let's start incorporating in the water.
Okay.
And if you think like right here, I know it's super hot. If it stays and you find that it's not building up as fast as what you want, removing it from the heat, let it maybe cool down just a tad bit. But I mean, it's going to be cooling as it goes right here. And so just. These are all things, too, that you might find work good for you or don't work,
And then, I mean, look, twirl it around.
Just
get some air in
there.
It
It likes to breathe,
Just let it go.
So, yeah, so just keep...
Sorry if we're loud, y'all. We're literally right by the phone, so...
And we're from Southern Louisiana. We don't know how to whisper.
We just talk fucking loud. Okay.
Okay, let's maybe now try to alternate, and I'm going to... I don't want you to drip it. I mean, I guess if you drip... There we go. I'm going to count a corner it so it's not that going to get...
We're going to go. We're just going to do this.
Yeah, there you go.
Boom.
Then start...
Wow.
Yeah, there
Can you guys see that? Hold on.
So that really, instantly cooled it, which is what the water's there for.
Yes.
And now you're going to start to see...
a real build-up.
Yeah.
Okay.
So do the same thing. Just go from...
From there. Drip, drip, drip. Inside.
There we go.
Boom! Wow, look at that.
See, now you're starting to see where we're going with it.
Holy shit balls, this is cool. So what happens when your arm gets tired?
You switch the other arm.
Yes!
This is the workout. Because being witchy isn't, easy.
Exactly. Like, if you have a bad shoulder, this might not be what you do.
You better slap some lavender oil on that and keep on trucking.
Call it a day.
It's actually starting to get a nice little bloop up there.
Yeah, it is. So I'm just kind of lifting it up.
Oh, it is growing.
It's growing now.
It's growing now. It probably just takes a little bit to start. And to learn the method of how long to leave it.
Well, this is kind of cooling a little bit. Okay.
That's helping.
So, again, trial and error. Alecia does legit-ass candles. This is some janky-ass candle that we're trying to do. So, this is going to be a bit of trial and error. But, I mean, you saw me kind of picking it up and putting this in here. And I'm just kind of moving it around. And, it's finally starting to grow. It just took a hot minute. I think this kind of needed to cool just a little bit.
And so maybe we could have even put it off with the wax paper to help cool it off a little bit. But it's really starting to grow. She's starting to get an actual taper candle look to it.
Yes.
So our candle's maybe going to be about an inch big. Is how big, because, how deep our pool is.
Right. And then you just keep going until you get it the thickness that you want. I mean, we're not trying to get a birthday candle. No. This is a big wig.
Yeah.
We might get a little bit...
it might be a little bit crazy.
A little bit crazy if we just keep it real thin. It'll burn out in 20 seconds. And we may have another fire to deal with. Okay, so to be fair, I say I caught shit on fire. I almost caught shit really, really on fire.
Okay, let's set the scene. Let's set the story up. So Danny and I actually make spell candles together. And we decided that we wanted to try to do tea lights. Well, one of the things that we do is that we like to dress our tea lights and dress our candles. So we decided, okay, well, let's go ahead and dress the tea light too. But for aesthetic reasons, we wanted the clear plastic tea light containers because those look very nice and gorgeous.
Yes.
So I said, okay, Danny, well, let's try this out because like all things, you have to test anything.
And let's be fair. Alecia was like, look, I know you want this to look good with your herbs and stuff on it, but I'm telling you, these things can be dangerous.
It can be dangerous, okay? And that's with any kind of dressed candle. You never leave it unattended. You always, which is the second part to this story. So I make the tea lights. I do what Danny says to do. And I give her one to try out, So she's like, cool. She lights it up. All's going well. And then...
Okay, let's be fair. Okay, I will show you this. I'll maybe put a cut in. Okay, my table is right where my stove and stuff is on the other side, right? So to be fair, I was in the same room.
She was in the same room. She did not leave the room.
However, I was not paying attention.
Yes.
Luckily, my kid was. So here's the thing. Alecia was like, be careful. Maybe you should put it on something. I'm like, no, it'll be fine. Again, these are clear plastic containers for these tea lights, right? So she leaves. Alecia leaves. I start cooking. Lennon is in the front. She's watching me cook. We're talking. And then she says, Mama, your candle's got some fire on it. I was like, well, baby, I know it's burning. She's like, no, like it's really got some fire on it. I was like, okay. Well, look, I'm coming. Let me finish this. I'm thinking, it's getting a little towards the end. Some of the, what did we even have on it? Was it lavender?
No, I think it was mugwort. It might have been mugwort on top of it. It was something. It was something that, was a little bit strong.
What did we have on the air one? It was the air.
I think that's is that for cleansing? Is it the mugwort for the cleansing?
Oh, no, it was the sage, right?
Oh, it was the rub sage. It was rub sage. No, it was rub. We had taken a bundle of sage.
True
and we were getting the little bitty, what do we call it? The grimmies.
Yeah.
The little pieces. And that's what we were sticking on there. So it's meant to go up in a blaze of glory in theory.
Yes. In theory it is. This is looking rather phallic.
I was thinking that we might be making a green penis candle. I believe this is a love candle. We're going to call it.
We should have did a red one. This would have been way better in red. So the nuts make it look a little nutty.
I'm going to go with the cactus. It's like,
okay.
Now you see when you feel that how it's still soft enough to where you can manipulate it if you wanted to.
Now what do we do with this?
Well, we're actually going to cut that off. So that's why I said our candle is actually only going to be a little bitty candle. And that's just because we're not using a deep.
Right, we're not using a deep. Now, you would need either a skinnier vessel to fill it up a little bit more, or more wax.
What probably would have worked well too, guys, is the family size like tin cans of let's say like cream of chicken or something, where they're taller and they're still not super, still about this a little bit wider than that. That probably would have worked really well too. So something, if you keep around old tins to remember, that's great to melt this stuff in too, because you can just toss that out when you're done with it.
Right.
And you don't have to worry about cleaning anything out.
So to continue on to the story.
Oh yes.
I turn around and I look and I realize that everything has caught fire inside and the plastic has melted, and I was left with a nice chunk of my table scorched to shit. So there's a nice little burn mark I created.
It does give it character now.
Yeah, it's fine.
It's like the wood had a knob there. We're just going to go with that. But the wood had a knob.
The wood had a knob there. It had a little knot.
It was a knot because, we keep it natural.
We keep it.
So, just so y'all know, when you're doing these things, just make sure
that, and to be fair, Alecia did tell me you should put this on something.
Yeah.
And I did it. So also make sure that when you are burning your candles, just PSA, when you are burning your candles, put it on something, a burn plate.
Yeah.
Or
if you're having it on that wood surface, you really want to do that. Now, on a countertop where it's like stone,
right?
If you'd have had that, you're not going to burn that, but you still.
You want to be careful.
Put it on a plate,
Put it on a burn plate. Put it on a candle holder.
Yeah, something like that.
Okay.
So it's really doing
this.
It's like a cucumber. It's more like it
still looks really
non-GMO cucumber. If you pick this out your grandma's garden in 1932.
No, yeah, you're right.
It might have a weird knob on it.
It might.
You cut that off and maybe eat it.
Maybe so. We're just gonna do that. Well, man, this is actually doing pretty well. I'm just kind of swirling it around because I'm trying to get it to kind of taper a little taller at the top. But we got a good base on it. I'm wondering if it'll stand up really well. And like, I do have a candle holder, but the bottom is probably going to be too thick for.
Well, no, because remember we're going to cut that bottom off.
But I mean, just in general.
Just in general, right there, yeah.
But maybe not. I could probably shove it in.
We're gonna see, because as long as we can kind of play with it and make it go. Kind
of manipulate it.
Yeah. There you go. See, there you
so
see.
You can kind of. Oh yeah, look. Let me do that in the camera. You can kind of manipulate what you're doing. For the most part, it really is manipulating quite well. I was surprised. Because it's almost like hollow if you let it dry and it doesn't sink in.
It feels like the wax on top of the cheese that you peel off.
Yes. Like a baby bell. Yeah. Like a little baby bell cheese. Like a baby bell cheese.
Is this how they do that?
This is totally how they do that. Yeah, this is definitely,
So, how thick do you want to get it?
I think this is good. Let's go with this.
Okay, so let's go ahead and cut this while it's still warm.
Okay.
These are my trusty scissors, but we're just going to go right through that. There you go.
Now, with this, let's just kind of...
Yeah, just mold it however you want to do it.
Mold the bottom.
So if you want to mold it to where it fits in your little holder that you were talking about.
Let me go grab that.
Yeah, look.
So, I use the hell out of this. So, we can kind of mold it to kind of sit in while it's still warm. Even if it's just to sit on top.
Yeah.
Now these will probably flow down. So where do we go with the wick?
Okay, so I'd cut this wick right about there.
Cool.
And you can even trim that up a little bit once you're ready to light it. And maybe, let me do it for you right here. You probably want to do right there.
Okay, so we have just a little...
Yeah.
Ooh.
Because mind you, this is just, tonight I need this. I'm doing some spell working.
Or even like, you want to do this with your kids.
Yeah.
Make a little spell candle for them. Or like you said, like you're in a pinch. You just want to do something. You needed a spell candle. Dude, make your own. You don't need it to be elaborate. This is witching on a budget.
This is witching on a budget. Hashtag witching on a budget.
Hashtag witching on a budget. So let's light this. Let's see where to go. Okay. So I have. Okay. Well, we'll do this, and I'll ask my question.
Okay.
Okay. So we have our candle. So I have a question.
Yes.
If you did want to dress it safely, would you be able to just like while it's...
I would say you would probably, like, if you wanted to add like a little, like a dried flower or something to it, I would say maybe take you a hot spoon or something and maybe press it on there to melt it.
Okay.
I usually use a heat gun, but I would be afraid that the heat gun would be actually
also
too powerful.
Too powerful. Do not ever use a blow dryer. Because I have done that. Alicia's like, oh, you can melt the top. It'll be fine. So I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to use the blow dryer.
But it's not as pretty.
But while it has heat, it also blows air. And air will fling wax, hot wax.
Molten wax.
On your face. I'm just saying.
It could have happened. She could be speaking from experience.
Maybe.
And then you've got to call your friend in to come fix what you've done to said candle.
And then say, maybe I should have just waited.
Yeah.
Which is usually the case.
Yes. Now, we also wanted to bring up that if you didn't want to do a taper candle, that we could have actually just stuck the wick in that jar of crayons. But we wanted a taper candle.
Right.
Because that created a longer candle, and this was something...
Right, now. But, that's a great point. So in that case, you could have taken a nut, one of the nuts, right?
Put it at the bottom, yep.
And literally stuck it in there. Now, how would you keep the wax standing up while it dried?
Oh, the wick?
Yeah.
Okay,
the wax,
so you could take a clothespin, put it across, grab it with the clothespin, and that would have held it into place.
Okay, I have little bitty clothespins, so I could have taken like popsicle sticks.
Yeah, or you could take the say you had those skewers, or something, or the popsicle sticks.
Oh, and
take
tied
two on each side and rubber banded them and held them together like that.
Okay.
So anything to pinch it in the middle and hold it tight right there. Is what you would have wanted to do.
So then you could have made almost like you know, they make the 7-day candles, the prayer candle.
Yeah, you could have done something similar to that.
Well, that's good to know because I didn't even think about it.
Yeah.
And then Jacob had mentioned like, oh, I thought y'all were just gonna put the wick in there. And we were like, oh yeah,
we could have, but we wouldn't have.
But we wouldn't have had this, our little phallic cactus candle.
Cactus candle.
Right?
That's gonna last for probably like 45 minutes at best.
Which is fine.
Maybe
Look at this. We've been standing over heat, and now our cute hair has all gotten Louisiana. We're full of
attack of the humidity.
Humidity and heat. Like again, dishwasher hot.
Right here.
Stove hot. Louisiana hot. So
and we just hot.
And we just hot.
You
I mean, we just get a little hot. So I mean, that's what happens. So
it's getting hot in her.
Let's try to light it.
Let's try to light this.
Oh my God!
See
Let me
if
find the lighter.
What do you say? Enjoy the fruits of our labor.
Yes.
She walking away.
I found it.
You went full circle.
And
to find this lighter.
To find the lighter that was right here.
Now, what would be terrible is if this didn't light. Like,
I'd be a little embarrassed. Okay.
Here we go.
And it's not. No.
No, it's not.
No, it's really not. This is not working. These are not working.
Is it because the wick got wet?
Oh, probably. The wick was wet. So we heat it. Hold on. We might have gotten it a little wet.
Fire! We just have to try it out a little bit.
So, yes, it's going to be wet. The wick will be wet because you dunked it in water. So, dry it. Let it dry. And you have a candle. I'm curious to see how it's going to burn.
Okay, I guess we're going to see how long it lasts.
See how long it lasts.
And this is going to drip. It's going to drip.
Yeah, this is going to be a dripper candle. So, like most little spell candles that you get, a lot of times they'll burn on themselves.
Yeah, this won't be as pretty as that.
Well, maybe it'll be more pretty. This is definitely like almost like an aesthetic thing.
Yeah.
Because you're going to get probably the drips that roll down.
Which is cool if you like to use those wine bottles and put it on top. Yes. That would have been probably a good one. But we're going to see how this does. But I already see a little bit of a drippage.
Yeah. Oh, wait, wrong side. You know I'm famous for that, y'all. Danny's going to go to the wrong side. But we already got some drips, so that's a good idea too, though.
Yeah.
If you make it big enough, if you continue to make it, especially if it's not too long so it's not going to break or fall over, put it on a wine bottle or a bottle like that.
Make a chode candle. That's what we call it. It's just wider than it is. Stop. You know what I'm talking about, ladies. The chode.
Oh my God.
This is why we can't do videos together.
This is why we can't do this, Alecia. So, I mean, yeah. So we can... So that way you can make it really cute. It'll fall down and you'll have a chode candle. Hashtag chode candle. So we burnt it out.
Or maybe because we're over here.
We're laughing.
Playing around. Now, also, we use crayons. So that could also clog the wick just a tad bit. So don't get frustrated. It's just part of the, because we didn't use legit wax. We used a crayon.
So again, if you're using this for your spell candles, most people will be like, oh, if it burns out, then you're done or whatever. Yeah. Which you can definitely look at it that way. It's really dripping. I'm going to show you guys. But from there, I mean, I would say you need to set your intention if you want to continue to feed it, because this is a special candle, but I think it's even better because while you're doing it, you can put your intentions into the wax. You can put your intentions in each time you dip it. So if it burns out, you can either let it be burnt out or you can continue to feed it. Reset your intention, relight. So that can be a thing as well. Now we're here dying laughing, creating a lot of
air.
So that could have very well been what just got our candle out.
Because it's going pretty good right now. Now something that we didn't do, and I've talked to Danny about this. As a candle maker, I don't really ever use essential oils ever in my candles. It's not something you can't do, but it's something you be careful with because some are flammable. So you don't want to create a fireball. But, you know, if you wanted to add you in a little bit of lavender, a tiny bit, just for, you know, you wanted that to be incorporated into your spell work or whatever it may be, it's not going to give the biggest scent, but it's just there for the intention.
Right.
Reasons you could have added a couple drops into that wax and mixed it around a little bit. So you can do that.
So like normally when you're doing, if you're going to do a scented candle, which most spell candles are not, however, if you want to add that as an added layer, which is what we've done with some of our candles, because we have that kind of stuff. It is not really essential oil. It is the fragrance. But again, intention is everything. If you're putting something in with the intent, right? Yeah. This is a sage citrus smell. Well, then that would be great for like cleansing and bringing in happiness. So you want to clear out the negativity, bring in that lightness. That citrus scent is still something that's going to invoke the smell.
The cleansing of the air and the space.
Right. And it's still going to invoke the happiness, even though it's not an essential oil.
Right.
It's that fragrance that still triggers and is still, it's still fine.
So just so you know. But if you do have fragrance oil, say you are, or you have a friend that maybe gave you something or whatever, you know, in this case, I could easily give Danny fragrance oil to do.
And again, if you have something like Michael's, Hobby Lobby,
you can get fragrance oil there.
They have fragrance oils there.
So easily, just pick you up a little bitty time because you're not making big batches.
No, we're not trying.
We're not going into business with our dip candles.
No, we're not going to be selling dip candles.
So these look like they're actually going to last about maybe 20 minutes at best.
Maybe 15
minutes. And
33, it's already been 5 minutes.
Now that's gonna probably be because of the wax, that it was that crayon wax. So
we also did not let it, we didn't let it sit for a long
we
time.
didn't do any of that. We literally just
still a bit warm.
Yeah, it was still warm.
But at the same time, this little thing is probably gonna burn out, I would say 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Which is great, especially if, again, you're trying to get a spell. Now, granted, this wasn't, it really wasn't that long.
No.
It didn't really take the candle.
Maybe an hour at best with everything to melt it and to dip it and everything. It was about an hour to make.
Maybe an hour.
Yeah.
I would say 30 minutes, 45 minutes, an hour.
Yeah, right there.
It really wasn't that long. But if you've got this and you're making quite a few, these are perfect to have and to keep around. They're fun they were fun.
It was fun.
Get a friend.
And we could have made several of them at one time if we wanted to. Like we said with the double dipper, just keep making them until you run out of your wax.
Yeah. And again, you could have put a big one. You could have made a big one.
Yeah.
But these are great, especially if you're sitting down to do a working and you want this to burn out. Because again, sometimes you want to blow your candles out. Sometimes you want to snuff them out.
Yeah.
Sometimes you want them to burn completely flat. But let's be honest. When do you have an hour? Sometimes you do.
Yeah.
Obviously.
But you're usually trying to get something done right
You're trying to
there.
get it done. You want it to burn out. You don't want to have to sit in there all day. Because especially with some of these, like if I got a business thing to do and I really want to have a good go at it, but I don't have 2 hours to sit around and make sure that my candle burns out and everything is safe, I can do something like this, burn it. It's done in about 10-15 minutes. I've been able to sit there. I've been able to concentrate. I don't have to worry about it. And then I can go and do what I have to do. And you've still got...
And also, what a great candle to use for like a 10-minute meditation.
Yes.
Perfect for that. Because you're not trying to sit there and meditate for 30 minutes. You just need to do a little meditation. Let me light this candle and not have to worry about, like she said, snuffing it out or anything like that. It's going to go out within that 10 minutes.
I love that. This is really working well. I'm going to show you guys. Let me see if I can do this safely. All right. Check this puppy out. This is going quite well.
Kind of made a green foot.
It did make a green foot. Come on. Hey, little guy. I'm going to turn. You can see how it dripped down. And it does create a really great drip pattern. So these are very cool, like for aesthetics as well.
And mind you, the wick that we used is actually far bigger than what we needed. So if we would have used a smaller wick, it would have burned slower too. So all those things, but again, this isn't meant to be professional. This is meant to be just what you need it for.
Exactly, and I think that's super fun.
Yeah.
So Jacob had a great point. So you've already set your intentions with this wax, right? You can also take what's left and create a sigil. What? So for the washers that we had left,
Yes.
for the bottom that we had, you can use that. I mean, it's crayons, right?
It's still a crayon.
And it's got all your intention, so you can burn your candle, you can create your sigil. Just saying. Little tip. Thank you, Jacob.
You're welcome.
We successfully did this.
We got it.
Woo! So thank you for being with me, Alecia.
Of course.
So
My
now we
God.
have to do more of these.
We do. We do.
So we will be back and teaching you
Witching
other
on a
stuff.
budget?
Witching on a budget.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, I like that. We're going to do that more often. Thank you guys for watching. I have all of my linked below and Alicia's. Maybe she'll teach me how to do incense because her incense is the shit.
Man, we talked about doing Tibetan rolled incense.
Oh my
We're gonna
gosh,
learn
so we're going to do
together.
that. We're going to learn this together. So we will be back. I will be back. We have all of our links below. If you're looking for us, you can find us. And we'll see you guys later.
Bye.
It's the magic of
It came
editing.
back on.
Oh, fuck. I didn't even notice. Did you notice that?
You knew what was going to happen. Our bellies.